How to mix acoustic guitars like the pros, next on Music Surgery with me, Dr. Bob. Hey, before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of future videos. Also, there are tons of great samples from my personal library below in the description of every video. They're all pay what you want. And lastly, if you want me to work on your music, hit me at drbobmusicsurgery@gmail.com. So mixing guitars in general is a delicate balance, but when you've got acoustic guitars, more acoustic guitars, and even more acoustic guitars, a banjo, a mandolin, electric guitars, and a steel guitar, where do you find the space for everything to speak? Watch this. All right, you guys, acoustic guitars, being here in Nashville, working on country music and rock and pop too. Inevitably, I'm going to face a lot of acoustic guitars, a lot of acoustic instruments. So let me play you a bit of this track before all the guitars, and then we'll see how we put them in and where we put them and how we make it work in a country pop type track this weekend. Here we go. So we're kind of drums, bass, steel guitar, a little bit of keys. So the first thing I see here is that I have an acoustic guitar, a double of that, another acoustic guitar that comes in the chorus, a mandolin, a ganjo, which is a banjo tune to a guitar tuning, one electric guitar, and two. So immediately, even though this is quite a sparse track, that is a lot of upper, mid, and high-end information that I know instinctively is good, could sound harsh or could get in the way of the vocal. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me mute all this, and let me mute the acoustic double. And let's just go to the acoustic guitar here, the main acoustic guitar, which my lovely Waves 1176 plugins are screaming. Okay, so I've got a bridge and a neck pickup. First, the bridge. Let's play that. So really just hitting the peaks, not doing anything to really overcompress or anything on this. So barely just tapping the peaks of those, rolling some low end off. And then those are going to a group here, the MV2, then I'm just kind of smashing it this way, bringing the bottom up, the top down. So you can hear it's not doing much. So let's start with putting that in the track. So if I start here, my vocal starts here. So I know that my acoustic is going to accompany the guitar as though kind of the singer, I want the visual of the singer playing the guitar while he's singing. Yeah, I'd given up the fight. We're not going to leave the vocal in, but one thing I want to show you here is this is all the first verse. Here comes the first chorus. So I'm keeping the double out of this because here is another acoustic guitar that starts to play besides our main acoustic guitar in the chorus. So what I really need to do here is if this one is playing and I'm going to put him off to, let's see what he's doing. So he's more strummy. The other guy's more finger picky. So I'm going to put him off to the right. But what I'm going to do at the start of the chorus is I'm going to make a cut here on my normal guitar, on my kind of the, what would I call them? Like the main guitar, main acoustic of the song. I'm going to bring these down to new tracks. And when you do that in Cubase, it keeps all of the settings of the tracks that you copied. So I'm going to take these out. I'm going to use these, the new ones I copied up here. So these are all, now I've separated, this went down there, this went down there. But I've separated those out because what I want to do now that I have this guy pan to the right, I want to pan this guy to the left. So we do have a double in the chorus, but it's not doubling the same part. I don't want that acoustic up the middle anymore because the things open up in the chorus and it's not so intimate, the singer and the guitar. So what we have now is like this. So here's the switch. Awesome. Great trick. We're intimate at the beginning of the song, and when the chorus comes in, things spread open. Now, another case for me not to keep the double of this, because where am I going to put that? I don't want one side finger picking, the other side strumming and finger picking, because I know that I have a lot more information coming at me with acoustic instruments. So I'm going to bury these down here. May not have use for those. So what's next? We have a mandolin. What do we do with the mando? Here it is at the top of the song. So he's panned over to the right. That's fine. We still have the intimacy of this guy up the top. So what do we do with the mando in the chorus? So we have guitars left, right. Where can we put him that makes sense? So since this guy is less of a pattern, of a busy pattern, and the mandolin is, I'm going to put him over on the right. Same kind of thing with the mando. Bunch of low end taken out. Here's the SSL. I'm probably making him a bit bright. Let's see what we've got here. Turning him up a little, a bit of brightness, and that's about it. Let's see if some compression, and then obviously some compression. Little bit more heavy-handed on the compression. I really want those peaks dialed back, and we have a nice spread here. between the acoustics. Now, the mandolin is more of a color instrument than a main instrument because the acoustics are carrying this. So let's treat him as a guest to this party. Nice to have him there. Now, we have a ganjo. So let's see what Mr. Ganjo's all about. They definitely wanted this color. Rolling some lows out. Some compression here. Trying to find the ugly frequency here. Dipping that out a bit. Now, all this is about panning because I've got all these things kind of finger picking and strumming and whatever. I got to find a place in the picture. So let's start with the last two that I've done. So those are complementary. I know some people hard pan everything. That's fine too. Let's look at our picture here. You should never listen to anything in solo, but we are. Okay, so we have a nice batch of acoustic instruments to make a nice statement. Now, I know this is more about acoustic, but since we're here, we have a lovely electric guitar that I've dumped some low end out and not done anything else. So immediately, I love the sound of that. It's making a nice thing happen here in the chorus. But I know the one thing that this could compete with is our steel guitar. So where's our steel guy? Is this him? So we've got him panned to the right. So it's, let's see where. I'm sorry, this is the steel. It's panned to the left. So I know because these are more legato color that are back in the picture, I definitely want these two to be opposites, panning-wise. Because if I put him over with the steel, I've got too much of that information on one side. So let's put him back. That's a bit fizzy. The da-na-na. So let me do this. Put some Soothe 2 up there. And let's catch that. Okay, so these two doubles, this double that I put down here of this, I'm not going to need that. There's nowhere to put it. I'm not saying it's not a great part, but you've got to mix what's in front of you. And I've got nowhere for any more finger picking. We're fine. We've got the finger picking statement. It doesn't need to be doubled in this kind of open type song. So the last thing we have, what's this electric guitar? Okay, so this is a baritone guitar. This is a tuned down electric guitar, which has a nice low end. So let's find that. Got some compression here. So I want a bit of that fullness in that bottom end. I'm getting that here. This is without the SSL channel strip. With it in. Getting some nice attack and getting some fullness. So where do I put him? I've got this electric guitar over here, and I know that I've got the steel over there. So let's find a place to put him. Okay, maybe a little closer to the singer. I know some of that's dangerous for some of you, but this is so low in the frequency area that it's going to be below where our singer's singing. So you can see when I play all the guitars together, you can hear everything, and everything makes its own statement. There's no cloudiness, and a lot of that's due to panning. You can see I'm doing some compression, not much, and I'm doing a little bit of EQ, but this is more about panning. So let's listen to it. Obviously, once the vocal's in, the main part of the song, the vocal, these things could change in level, but probably not panning. So let me play this when everything's in full, and let's listen to our guitar, acoustic instruments, and then our guitar picture. There we go. Everything makes sense. Everything has a place. Now it's time to get my vocals in, get those right, and then we'll weave in and out. We'll weave the acoustics in and out of those vocals if need be. But that's a really solid picture of what's going on. If there's another spot in the song that comes down to super intimate, like maybe a breakdown chorus or whatever, I'll utilize this technique again where the guitars are up the center, so it feels like I'm right there with the singer playing their acoustic, and then when things open up, I'll pan outside once again. Well, there you go. It's really not rocket science. A touch of EQ, panning, and compression, and really balancing everything out and getting rid of things that will cover up your mix. Thanks so much for watching. Give me some comment, love, and a thumbs up below. And hit me at drbobmusicsurgery@gmail.com if you want to say hello or you want me to work on your music. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you the next time the doctor's in.